So, if you know, we're doing this. The 5 minutes to happy. Just for those of you that aren't familiar with 5 minutes to happy, what we have is around 5 minute sessions, basically focused on happiness. So we focus on personal development, we focus on relationships with others, and we focus on finding fulfilling work. And those are kind of the three pillars to happiness that we're teaching over here. And today's session, we're talking about dealing with other people, especially dealing with negative people. So I'm sure you guys have dealt with negative people, especially those who say things online like Bobo, idiot, diba? Or they say something like sana mamatay ka na lang, or sana marirape ka, diba? We see these kinds of things, right? We see these kinds of comments more and more these days, right? And especially online, but we see these kinds of comments with political differences, especially, and so on, about different opinions. We see these hurtful and negative comments, right? And I've gotten these kinds of comments. Ako mismo, I've gotten these kinds of comments on my outspoken opinions because I'm pretty outspoken. And let me tell you, it affects me. It affects me. And if it affects me, if these comments affect me, how much more would it affects someone who is more emotional? Oh, I'm not that emotional, so it affects me. I'm very logical. How much more if it's somebody who's emotional, who receive these kinds of comments? When it comes to the internet, it's so easy to say these kinds of words, right? It's so easy to just type them out because we're behind the keyboard and we're behind the screen. But if it was real life, if it was real life, we wouldn't call someone Bobo, or we wouldn't tell them na sana mamatay ka, right? Would you? Would you tell them that? Well, first of all, I want to ask, have you received these kinds of comments? Have you received these kinds of comments on the internet? Oh, I have. And in real life, we wouldn't say these kinds of things. And these kinds of messages, when they're sent to you, you get affected. As if someone told this to you in person, right? When we do feel like saying these kinds of words, when we feel like saying these kinds of words and insults, let's remember that we are affecting other people then. We are affecting other people. Imagine if someone told your brother, sana mamatay ka, or your sister, sana ma-rape ka. You'd be angry, diba? You'd be furious, right? Now, when we say these phrases, that's what we're doing. We're not dealing with robots. We're dealing with real people. We're dealing with real feelings. We're dealing with real families and real stories. So we might wonder that how are people able to say these kinds of things? Kaya nila that they can do it. I know people in real life who I respect. I respect these people in real life, and they say these kinds of things online. I'm going to cover more in another episode, but I do want to go over a number of reasons how these people are able to say things. First of all, there's that separation from reality, diba? We feel that we're just typing words to the internet. We don't really feel that we're connected to a real person. We don't think of people online. We don't think of them as people with emotions because we don't see their face. We don't see their body language. We don't think that the effect. We don't think of the effects of our actions. But we should. We should think of how it affects people. Second, there's this culture that we have, especially online. Now, us versus them. What does that mean? It means that if you don't agree with me on a specific issue, you're stupid, you should die. And that's how things have become. Because there's this us versus them. Which is crazy because most of the time when we're talking to people, we're just scared individuals who want what's best for our country, what's best for our families, and what's best for each other, right? We want the same things as other people. We just have a different opinion on how to get these things. It's just like if we wanted to drive, if you wanted to go from Makati to Taguig, okay, if you wanted to get there, you might take different bus routes trying to get to the same destination. But just because you're in different buses, we usually think that the other bus as the enemy, even though we're trying to get to the same place, we're just in a different bus. But instead of trying to blow up their bus, what I'm saying here is that we should try to be more understanding. Instead, that even though we have different ideas, understand that we're all trying to reach the same destination. But we can talk to them. We can tell them what your reasons are for taking a specific bus, for believing a specific thing, for trusting in a specific politician or so on, or a specific opinion. But even more importantly than sharing your own reasons is we should listen to their story. We should listen to their stories of why they made the decisions they made, why they believe in certain things. Because what we are, we're just people. We're just people on different buses, on different beliefs, with different belief systems, with different stories. We're just trying to get to the same place. So instead of trying to kill each other, instead of insulting each other, instead of wishing the worst for each other, what we should do is we'll try to listen to each other. And perhaps maybe we can work together. We can work together. We can solve our problems as one again, because we really are just one, right? We're really just trying to achieve the same goals. We just want what's best for our country, ourselves, our families. And if we listen to each other, we really listen to each other, and we share our opinions without being insulting, without being demeaning, and without pushing people away, perhaps we can work together. Perhaps we can solve our problems together as one. Okay, just something for you to keep in mind. All right, because we are one, right? We are one. Now, okay, there's this commitment. Here's a comment and kind of a commitment that I want you guys to type in the comment section. I will try to listen more to those who disagree with me. Okay, so I will try to listen more to those who disagree with me. There. I will try to listen more to those who disagree with me. So I want you to type that in the comment section, and it's kind of a commitment, right? It's just a commitment. Okay, I'm going over here. Oh, if you have any questions, if you have any comments, let me know in the comment section, of course. Also tomorrow, just a reminder, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Not tomorrow, sorry, it's Friday already. Tuesday, this coming Tuesday at 10 a.m. We have another 5 Minutes to Happy session, episode 10. We're talking about I'm scared of failing. What do I do? That's this coming Tuesday at 10 o'clock in the morning, July 21st. Okay, I'm going to go over to the comment section over here. Hello, Christian. Oh, Inga. Freedom of speech is abused online. To a certain point, yes. But we do have freedom of speech. Let's remember, okay? What I want you to remember, Inga, is people are allowed to say their opinions. And that's okay. We're allowed to have opinions. But we shouldn't look down on people. We shouldn't insult people. And we shouldn't wish the worst for people because they have a certain opinion. We should listen to them. Because people will have different opinions from you. And we're different. We're unique. But we want the same things. So freedom of speech to the point of sharing your opinions, for me, that's okay. But not if we insult and demean and say bad things about other people. That's why we have this commitment over here. When people disagree with your opinion or with my opinion, what we should do is we'll try to listen more. We'll try to listen more because, once again, we want to work together. We want to achieve the same things. And for us to work together, we have to listen. We have to compromise. It's just, parang we have so many separate groups. Kasi, like, this is one group, this is another. They're just fighting. They're not listening to each other. And they won't accomplish anything. But if they listen, they'll find the compromises, and that's when we can work together. That's when we can work together. Thanks, Roel. I will try to listen to more to those who disagree with me. Hello, where was I here? Adam from Tuna Capital, Cagayan de Oro. Siri, hello. Let me just move these comments here. Hello from Batangas, Janet. Hello, Judith from Binangonan. Venus from San Pablo, listening while working. Mai from Pampanga. Eve from Concepcion. Eve, thank you for I will try to listen more to those who disagree with me. Just want to ask. That's not the title of the live. It's the first line to description. Baka it came out sa top. Sorry, John. Is that what came out on top when you saw the notification? Because it should be dealing with negative people. It's just an example of what negative people will say. Adam, yes, thank you. I will try to listen more to those who disagree with me. Joan, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Okay, let's see here. Paano pag below the belt na po? How can you hold your temper? It's a good question. That's a good question. Well, I do have, I think next week ba? Wait lang. When's the schedule of, I know, how to hold your temper in arguments? Let me look at the schedule. Where is that? Ay, it's undrafted. I'm scared of failing. Oh, it's on Thursday. On Thursday, we have dealing with anger. Okay. So we have dealing with anger on Thursday, Marjorie. It's more of in person, pero yeah, it's a good thing. We can also talk about dealing with it online, diba? How can you hold? Well, a lot of the times, diba? We should to answer Margie's question. Paano pag below the belt na po? How can you hold your temper? A lot of the times we don't engage. Ako, sometimes I don't engage. Well, a lot of the times I don't engage. I try to listen. I try to discuss, pero some people, they're not open to discussion. And on our end, about what they do, that's their problem, right? What they do is their problem. If they're gonna insult you, if they're gonna say bad things, that's their responsibility. That's their problem. Your responsibility is what you do with the actions that what you do, how you react, because that really is your responsibility. Their actions are not your responsibility. So when you're reacting, that's when you can choose not to respond, choose not to engage, choose not to insult, diba? Choose not to fight online. Diba? But we do have how to handle arguments next week. We should listen to understand more often than to disagree. Very good, thank you. Thank you, Christine. That's a very good point, diba? We should listen to understand more, diba? Usually, diba, when we're listening, what we're trying to do is parang we're trying to find a reason, trying to find where we can disagree with them, diba? Where we can say, no, you're wrong, diba? That's what usually happens. Pero it's a very good point. Now we should listen to understand. We should really understand, because once again, we're all trying to get to the same place. We all want what's best. Oh, let me just change the slide here. Okay. From Jen San, yes. Tuna Capital. Good morning, Rebecca. Good morning, Abby. Good morning, Griselda, Rose. Those that arrived just now, maybe you want to watch the replay because we finished na with the session. Okay, I'm just going over the comments here. Just let time pass by for that moment. It will eventually come to pass. Like when you're really angry, diba? And online, actually, for me, when you get... Hala, nawala yung PowerPoint. When you get insulted online... okay. Oh, that's what happens pala. Okay, let me just adjust this.